That's right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Racing Club. This week we've got highlights from our Deep Forest Tier A Group 3 race, and we are definitely in partnership with Fanatec, Apex Sim Racing, and Herka. About to start our race with our favorite countdown with a 3, 2, 1, and I am joined this week by none other than Chef. Chef, it is on!
And away we go, the gentlemen, and not wasting any time with Algebro already taking the boys 3 wide. Down the straight they go with Peter coming in for some action. The track is not meant for 4, but they're gonna put 4 in there. Let's see how that goes around the first turn. Turn 1 on the hairpin going left. Peter comes up victorious with Loco leading that group, fighting for the 3rd position. The leaders are getting away with Gavin Tinelli and Mr. Intalim Kaklabi. Oh, Algebro out on the track a little bit, using the entire track as it should be done. We can see Ricky Armando coming in right behind them. This first part of the track is a really tricky one, going through the wiggly bit, as I like to call them, into the second set of the tunnel. RG is really pushing it, and we have Vito and Ricky Armando right behind them. The Fanatec Porsche of TRC doing a little bit drift. Let's give him a 10 over 10 on that. Back to you, Safi.
Absolutely, Chef. Nobody wins a race in the first lap, but it is clearly elbows out by many drivers right here in the very first lap of our 1-hour endurance race. Reminding you, it is a 1-hour endurance race, and it is already heating up in the very first lap. Deep Forest, of course, in a mystical track located in the forests of Switzerland. And oh, Floco and that hairpin will take a lot of victims, as you can see. One of the nastiest hairpins in the entire Gran Turismo universe. And already the 3, 4, and 5 in close tow. Ricky Armando and behind Vito, behind Floco. It is absolute pandemonium. Lap 1 of this Deep Forest. Oh, just got into lap 2, Chef. And how about 4 wide at the start of that race? That was an incredible start to this race, Chef.
That was some hairy stuff, and the boys are not giving each other any quarters, as we can see. The boys are ready to make up. Porsche on Lamborghini sandwich, going through the 3rd and the 4th turn, about to hit the 5th turn, going into the first part of the tunnel. This has been some exciting race, and it's only the 2nd lap.
Absolutely, and as you saw on your screen there, reminding you that with the Racing Club, you can now get off to 5% off of your Apex Sim Racing products. Use our code TRC5. Here they come. Floco with Vito behind and Ricky Armando. That 3-way battle is now being joined by Abby in that GTR. The GTR should be quite strong on this track, Chef. It's got a very nice top speed. But of course, that hairpin will define all. The final hairpin in that track, 18 corners as you said, but that final one will be taking a lot of victims today for sure, Chef.
Yes, turn 14, as we approach to that hairpin, to turn 14, we see the gentlemen bunching up in that that heavy braking zone. But still, the status quo remains with the top 3, Vito, Loco, and Ricky Armando, facing each other with Abby in that blue Calsonic GTR. Beautiful car as he comes racing up into turn 2, right behind Ricky Armando and Loco. This track is one of my most favorite tracks, if you would ask me, Safi. I love all the undulating turns. It's got lots of bumpy turns. It's got lots of heavy braking zones, lots of opportunities to close in on drivers, and that's why it's on the top 2 of my favorite tracks.
Well, you know, Chef, you now join the game's creator, Kazanori Yamauchi, because this is actually his favorite track. And the track has featured on each and every single edition of Gran Turismo. I think they've shortened it down a little bit in the GT7 version. I reckon it's now about 4.25 kilometers long, or maybe 2.64 miles. And it is all happening under the tunnel right now. You really got to watch out in that tunnel. Your exit speed matters. And hey, that's me in my nice little Porsche, being chased by the Porsche of Das 1427. It is a Porsche, little mini Porsche Cup we got going there, Chef.
Yes, absolutely. We can see your Red Bull Porsche is being chased. We can see dust in the green red Porsche is hot on your heels as you guys go down into the longest part of the tunnels, coming out onto turn 14, which is the hairpin. Heavy braking zone there. We can see Ricky Armando and Floco, and Avi has now joined the party. He's taking a look, trying to see whether he can push the boys into a mistake. But Deadman is not giving them any quarters either. He's sniffing in the background in his Gulf McLaren, hoping that the boys will make a mistake. But on the start finish straight, that tow really creating a good opportunity for Ricky Armando.
Absolutely, and Vito, who was closely battling with that pack, seems to have broken away a little bit right here at the start of lap 4. Beautiful sight of those two Porsches wheel to wheel up on that first hairpin corner. Who's gonna pip it into the tunnel? Looks like Floco. Yes, Floco, but Ricky Armando, like you mentioned, the split stream in this track is absolutely mental. And here they come through the tunnel. And Floco, or is that Ricky Armando, scoring his best sector time for the first sector of the race? And you're right about that Calsonic, such epic livery that Abby's got going on that GTR, Chef.
I believe it's paying homage to the 1990s when the GTR in the Calsonic colors was really ripping it through the Japanese touring car series. And this is his second run using the GTR. In the previous championship, which was our GR4 championship, he was still using a GTR, and he used that track weapon to his advantage as well as he did in the last race. Coming down to the hairpin, Ricky Armando looks on the inside, trying it too wide again. These boys are not giving each other any space. Ricky Armando takes 4th place away from the Fanatec Porsche of Loco as they go down the start finish straight. Going down the kink into the turn number 1, we can see Das in the Gr.3. It's right behind. Safi.
He's right behind me.
Don't think you can't shake him off now, can you, Safi?
Well, I'm gonna try. It's a very, very, very challenging track, and I gotta say the Porsches, as much as their weight transfer really helped you out, like in those tunnel sections and in those areas, those anti-bank curves, but down the straights and in that final hairpin, that Porsche really, really, really suffered. Of course, you had to make sure in that final hairpin you needed to exit on first, and having a very strong second gear would have really made the difference, like with the McLarens, like with the AMGs. And speaking of AMGs, here comes Gavin Cinelli. He's currently in the lead, followed, of course, by the McLaren of Incoming Cutlery. Incoming Cutlery, one of the fastest racers in our league, Chef, and he is close on the tail of Gavin for top spot in this Group 3 Tier A Deep Forest race at the moment.
Well, Gavin coming into the pits for a fresh set of rubber. He was on the softs for the beginning part of this race, and I do believe the tire strategy for this particular race, most drivers are sticking with the mediums and the softs. Nobody's going on hards. Nobody's looking for a long stint. Nobody want to get left behind, and that dead man as well doesn't want to get left behind by Abby. As they now pick up positions, as the drivers begin jumping into the pits, we can see Cinelli going on to the fresh medium. Let's see where he comes out in this particular position after his first stop. He comes right in between you and Mr. Das in that green Rex. He's right behind you on some pressure rubber. I believe you guys are still running on your stops. A couple of laps old, probably 7 laps. Maybe 2 more laps to go into this soft. How long did it take for the soft kind of wear out in the race?
Well, I guess with your tire usage, it really depends on your driving style. Can you maximize? Can you afford to drive 1, 2, 3 laps on tire that's really worn down? Can you afford to not lose a lot of time? And that's where the beauty of personal strategy comes in. Everyone's got their own strategy, and it's great. Like right here in the racing club, we get online every week. We run simulations for these races. We share information, not a lot of information, but we share some information, and that's what the community is all about. So don't forget to join our Discord at the Racing Club. Check out our YouTube page as well, Instagram. We got reels. And who's in the pit right now? It is Incoming Cutlery. And will there be an undercut action happening? Oh, Deadman and Abby, he tried. Oh, and he comes out ahead of Gavin.
The undercut works. Absolutely beautiful from Incoming Cutlery. He came in at the right moment, stretched his softs at the right moment. I believe these two gentlemen are on a two-stop strategy. The only driver in this race going for a 3-stop strategy will be Floco in that Fanatec Porsche. But back to the action with Cutlery right behind Abby, and I do believe our top 2 drivers, which is Incoming Cutlery and Gavin Cinelli, are somehow using the back markers to kind of, drag them along, give them a little bit of tow around these corners, conserve their tires as they are now on the mediums. And we can see Mr. Abbey has 1 second penalty. I wonder where he took that up. That has to do with track limits. Track limits on this particular track as well. Very, very difficult to overcome. If you do step out even a little bit, you do get marked by a half a second or 1 second penalty.
Absolutely, as Abbey is finding out right here, crossing the penalty line and losing a second and losing a position or two. Here they come through the hairpin, incoming Cutlery, and Gavin, this is an early battle for top spot if you ask me, but incoming Cutlery seems to be doing the business, and Deadman looks to have spun out a little bit at that final hairpin. Here they come towards the start-finish line. Vito right now in 9th, chasing down a tidy 128. Also chasing down, me. At this point, I was in P7, crossing the line, and I gotta tell you, so many chases happened throughout the duration of this race, Chef. It was epic, whether up front, whether in the back. Oh, look at this, first corner, tidy, 128 at Pips. Vito takes the inside line. Here they come towards the tunnel. A couple of S's in the tunnels, and you really gotta watch out there, like you mentioned earlier with track limits. But you also really got to watch out, staying on the inside towards the end of the tunnel, making sure that your tires do not touch the grass right there, because if they do, ciao bella, you are gone, my friend. Over to you, Chef.
Absolutely. And all our drivers using the track limits as if they paid for it and they want their money's worth. And we can see Ricky Armando now has the first place, but he's yet to go into the pit, as is Loco. Get to go into the pit, and just as I was speaking in, Ricky Armando comes into the pit to get off his mediums. Loco is really extending those softs. He's trying to eke out all the performance he can get. Vito now coming out of turn 10. Turn 10 is another problem spot as well. With that green patch proving to be a little bit sleepy if you do get onto it. Down onto the second part of, down onto the longest part of our tunnel, the track, heading down to turn 14, the hairpin. We can see all the drivers getting slipstream on each other, giving each other a tow as we come down onto the turn 14, the hairpin. No one is really looking to do anything right now. Drivers conserving their tires. Drivers looking to see who's going to do what. Trying to, now everybody has settled into the pace of the race. Now it's time to get down into some action and, get down to business. Ricky Armando in the pit, coming out where he's going to come out in last place. Yes, he is in last place as he heads down onto the first turn. We can see yourself in the pits. Let's see what you do.
That's right. I had a little racing incident right before that pit, which forced me into thinking, why not? Let's try and save up a little on the lap time. And I think if I remember correctly, we've also got Tidy 128 also in the pits. And like I was mentioning, if I remember correctly, I had started on the mediums and I'd pushed them to about 12 laps. And here comes Abbey and Vito. Battle for P5 at the moment inside the tunnel. Vito's attempting, of course, to pick up on that split stream. There's nothing like some good split stream air coming into that final hairpin. Vito's attempting to go on the inside line. Abbey goes a bit wide. Wheel to wheel.
Look at that as they go down the start finish straight. Now let's see the top speed of this Lambo come into action against this GTR. Just look at that, already giving him a car's length, already a car length and a half, 2 car lengths probably now as they go down to turn 1. That hairpin, Abbey's looking in on the inside. Abbey might, but he decides against it. He knows that he can take the Lambo around the turns going into the hairpin. Second turn, up the hill they go with Cutlery in position 2 right behind Loco. Loco is yet to pit, and I'm sure Mr. Sinelli is right behind them somewhere in there.
Absolutely, the McLaren's got some incredible straight line speed, which will come into effect, of course, if Floco has yet to pit. Then his tires must be screaming at him right about now. Unless he was on hards, of course, which we can find out later on. But here they come. Incoming Cutlery is incoming on Floco's tail, maximizing usage of that split stream coming out of the tunnel towards the hairpin, and reminding you, of course, 5% off of your Apex Sim Racing products. Use our code TRC5 for Floco, putting that car where it needs to be, making sure that incoming Cutlery does not take that inside line. Gavin Cinelli on their tail, not too far behind. Looks like Floco is heading towards the pits, and there he is, Chef, finally in the pits.
He's coming out of the pits. Let's see where he comes out. He does come out behind Vito, and
That looks like a perfect undercut. He comes ahead of Ricky Armando, Chef, and I think this could be deciding in the race. Absolute pandemonium coming in here through the corners, the curves, heading in towards the tunnel. Here comes Ricky Armando, P6 at the moment, and Floco is P5, just on fresh rubber, heading towards Abi, who looks like he may be on dying rubber at the moment, Chef.
Yeah, well, you can see Floco is trying to get some temperature into those tires. They're still cold, but he's outlap. But Abi has a little bit of a moment, and he hands the position over to Floco, and Floco says, thank you very much, I'll have that. And Ricky Armando sniffing on Abi's back for saying, can I please have a piece of that pie? Going down that tunnel into turn 14 in the hairpin. Ricky Armando has a look on the inside. He doesn't hesitate, takes it, and is right on but as well has a little bit of a slip up, and Abi is right back on his bumper. This is an action-packed race, but the number one thing we stand for in the racing club is clean racing action from start to finish, with Abi coming out of the pit.
Absolutely. Abi coming out of the pit at the start of lap 18, almost halfway through the race, about 27 minutes in. Floco currently in P4. That battle with Ricky Armando, the way they both pitted, the undercuts, the overcuts, this has been an epic battle for P4, and it continues to give. Here comes Ricky Armando. Floco has a moment, and Ricky overtakes him in this little mini Porsche Cup we got going on in our Group 3 Tier A race at Deep Forest. They're coming towards the very first hairpin right now. Floco's trying to look towards the inside line. Ricky Armando defending, puts some power down, straight up, uses the curbs. Who's going to get the inside line coming into the tunnel? It matters bigly, in the words of, well, we know who. But here comes a Floco. Floco knows what's up. Floco manages to pip that turn. And we move right now to battle for P4 between Ricky Armando and Gavin on his tail, Chef, at the hairpin.
I believe Gavin must have come in for some tires, or maybe he had a moment because he's now right behind Ricky Armando. Now, side by side as they come out of turn 14 on turn 15, going down the kink. Lots of sparks about to fly on turn 17 up 18. It's the start finish straight. He's getting the slipstream on Ricky Armando. Ricky Armando trying to make his car as wide as possible, but cannot fight that AMG of Mr. Gavin Chinelli as they come down to turn 1. Let's see what Mr. Gavin does. He has a slip on the inside, but he decides against it. Knows that he can take Mr. Ricky Armando through the assist. Up into turn 2 they go. Gavin has taken the position of Ricky Armando, takes first position, and is running away with it as he kicks up some dust going through turn 3, turn 4, going into turn 5, up into the first set of the tunnels, with dust coming out of the hairpin, going into the start finish straight. Into the pits he goes as he comes out, coming out right behind Abi.
And we're back at the moment with Gavin Chinelli chasing down Floco for P3. Pit strategy is everything in this race. Gavin, of course, the AMG, super strong down the straights, but he's been playing it smart, and we've noticed him do that a couple of laps. He knows that he could pit them on speed, and what he does is he takes the split stream down the straight, and he's done it for the second lap in a row, like he did with Ricky Armando. He takes the inside line.
One more time, absolutely. He goes down the inside. There's a bit of a switcheroo. He's now in front of Floco in third position, right on the heels of Mr. Vito. As you can see, that Batman Lamborghini really trying to, tip to the ground. But I'm guessing he needs a little bit of an upgrade. Maybe throw some plates in there, and he might actually be able to keep Mr. Gavin Chinelli away from him.
Absolutely, maybe some nifty Batman-y sort of like gadgets might help, because Gavin is super strong on his tail at the moment. Looks like he's going to try and look for that inside line heading towards the final hairpin. He's planning, he's been methodical. He does have P2 at the moment, and he does have the inside line coming into the hairpin. This is going to be a deciding corner, I think, for the remainder of the race. 37 minutes gone, lap 25. Floco also finds the inside line, pips Vito for P3, places the car where he wants, and Gavin, Chef, has already taken off behind incoming Cutlery.
Oh, Gavin is really walking away with this, hoping to catch Cutlery. Incoming Cutlery coming into the pit. Is coming into the pit for a new set of softs, I believe, coming off the mediums. getting onto the soft. Let's see when he comes out with this race. He still comes out and still comes out on top. But he has Mr. Gavin Chinelli for some company. He has the inside, trying to keep the inside. Gavin takes the outside. Now they go side by side up the hill. Turn 2, going into turn 3. Gavin Chinelli has the top spot away from Mr. Incoming Cutlery. They're going into the third turn. It's the fourth turn, fifth turn into the tunnel, with Gavin Chinelli taking the lead and running away with it.
Absolutely incredible strategy work by Incoming Cutlery, although he did come out behind Gavin, but only just. But of course, he's got the fresher tires. He's got the split stream right now. And I reckon this might be a decider in this race. Incoming Cutlery's second pit stop in a row, managed perfectly. And you know what, Chef? I know for a fact Incoming Cutlery is on VR. Therefore, he does not have access to the deltas, to the times, to the differences. So those pit strategies were purely instinctive and based on his visual data.
And this shows why he is so far the championship leader in this Gr.3 race. In the last championship with the Gr4, he did come in second position. This time in the Gr.3 Championship, he is currently leading, coming in from Suzuka and hoping to keep that lead. But Gavin has been giving him a hard time. He has been making him work for that top spot. Gavin really pushing that AMG down that straight. Back has been on the Lamborghini, has got some straight line speed. And then we have Mr. Cutlery looking on the inside. Let's see how it works on the first turn. Cutlery going in on the inside.
I think Incoming Cutlery just pulled a Gavin on Gavin. That was unbelievable. He just pulled the same move that Gavin has been pulling on Ricky Armando and Floco. Incredible, flawless execution by Incoming Cutlery there. Of course, both these cars, the AMG and the McLaren, incredibly great on the straights, but I think when it comes to cornering, the McLaren does pip it out and have a little bit of an advantage, Chef.
Absolutely. I believe in the first and second race position, we're seeing a battle that's going to be brief for a long time. With you coming down the straight, Deadman right behind you on turn 1, you making your car as wide as possible. Deadman flashing his lights, asking you to give him some space, asking you to give him way, and you do, with the blue flags coming into action. And as we said here at the Racing Club, the only thing we do is drive hard, drive passionate, and most importantly, drive clean. So please follow us on Discord and Instagram, link the description below.
Absolutely, and don't forget, of course, with our sponsors, Hekra, our partners, you can get up to 10% off. Use our code TRC10 on all Hekra products. And I gotta say, Chef, you were mentioning that we do race clean. That is what we do. And I was giving Deadman space there. I was trying to be Gavinish about it. My tires were shot at the time, and I was in search for Deadman Splitstream. And let's see how that works out. But in the meantime, battle for P2. Floco is close on Gavin's tail. And I gotta say, man, as someone who also drove a Porsche in that race, Floco in the Porsche, he was pulling off insane times. So I gotta tip my hat off to him. He massively maximized usage of the Porsche despite its disadvantages in this race. As we can see right now, he's currently in P2, Chef.
Yes, Floco in P2, and he is the only driver, as I stated earlier, on a 3-stop strategy. Everybody else is on a 2-stop strategy, which kind of explains why he is in the position that he is right now, being on pressure rubber than most of the boys. And as you can see, coming into turn 14, that hairpin, which delivers them onto the start finish straight. I believe as well, Floco with all of his beautiful Fanatec livery, adding a few more horsepower to that Porsche as he tries to keep the AMG of Mr. Gavin Chinelli. Mr. Gavin Chinelli hoping to do what he usually does on turn 1, looking on the inside, but Floco has seen this happen before, giving him the switcheroo, and here comes Floco taking it side by side with Mr. Gavin. Gavin has no answer for Floco. Floco seems to be doing this right out of his, he's flying on the seat of his pants. We can't believe this. You cannot make this up. You can only see it on the Racing Club Gr.3 Championship.
Absolutely magnificent battle between Floco and Gavin, with Ricky Armando not too far behind in P4. But at the moment we're back. It's well to my battle with Deadman for P9. Here comes the McLaren. We're back up on the first curve at the moment. Got some little hieroglyphics on my roof there. Egypt represents, Chef. Africa represents. We gotta stay true to the roots. And here we come through the tunnel, Chef.
Well, as we go through the tunnel, a little while back, we saw Floco get into a little bit of an accident. I think he was having an argument with that barrier, and the barrier won in that particular case. So he has been dropped down to position 6, all the way from position 3. He might make it up, but Ricky Armando is celebrating that little bit of argument, Floco's argument with the barrier, as he tries to take up Mr. Gavin Chinelli, doing the same thing that Gavin has been doing to everybody, but on a different corner. Oh my God, it looks like everybody's having a little bit of trouble with their tires. Lap 32, I think another 3 or 4 laps to go before we see the conclusion of this race.
Wow, that was incredible down the hairpin back there, Chef. I gotta tip my hat off to Gavin. He locked up a little in the front there, trying to avoid contact with Ricky Armando, which definitely reminds us that that's what we do here at the Racing Club. We race clean, no matter what's at stake. But here comes Gavin. Like we said, the straight line speed of the AMG, no match for that Porsche, but Ricky Armando's got the inside line. Oh, we've seen so many positions switched around just on that first curve, Chef. And Gavin does manage to pip a P2, and he has the inside line heading into the tunnel.
Well, as they go through turn 2 and turn 3 and turn 4, this is what I call the squiggly wiggly bit, because your car really does a little bit of a dance if you're not very careful. You have to manage your brakes, manage your acceleration, make sure the tires do not spin out, and as the tires wear out, as the degradation begins to hit you, you will get a little bit of loss of traction. But Gavin Chinelli has done what he always does. Took him on turn 1 as they go down that tunnel into the hairpin on turn 14. The lights go out, and Ricky Armando tries to take him on the outside, but he goes onto the green stuff, a bit slippy. Now side by side, door to door, this gentleman are going. Ricky Armando has knocked on the door. Gavin Chinelli gets it wide open, and Ricky Armando said, thank you very, very, very much. I'm going to take that, and hops away, and Smoke and Silk takes it down the start finish straight.
But here comes Gavin again down that first hairpin. Will he pull another Gavin? And you know what, Chef? I am all for it. I vote for Chef. This is an imaginary track, so I am way down for calling this part of the track Squiggly Wiggly. It doesn't have an official name, but from here henceforth, Chef, it will now be known as Squiggly Wiggly. Here they come down through Squiggly Wiggly, and of course
Squiggly
into
Wiggly
the tunnel.
Tease.
Yes,
absolutely, Squiggly Wiggly Tease.
There we go.
To the second part of the tunnel, absolutely amazing stuff from this gentleman. Cutlery now coming into back markers. Now this is where a driver needs to be very, very careful. Blue flags coming into play. All our drivers respecting flag rules, and TRC using that to his advantage, getting some slipstream, overtaking you and Deadman.
But I wasn't having it. I took the inside line, but then I decided it might be a good idea to lock on to incoming Cutlery's split stream. We are at a lap 39, just a little bit under a minute left in this race. About a 40-lap race, and I managed to overtake Deadman in that final lap, and I managed to, head over towards Abby and pipped him as well, trying to fight hard, but Deadman takes P9 back, and so does Abby. I had a little moment there at that chicane, that little corner, and here we come through the tunnel. I gotta say, Chef, the battles in this race from start to finish all over the grid were absolutely incredible. Here we come towards the hairpin. Abby in P8, Deadman P9. I am bringing up the rear, but hey, Deadman has a moment. I'm sorry for that, Deadman.
Abby, everybody's having a moment. It seems like everybody's tires have fallen off the cliff completely. I think it was a cliff jump for everybody for the tires. Now, as we come into the lap 39, this is the final lap with Cutlery coming in to take the first position. Gavin Chinelli coming in behind him to take second position. This has been a fantastic race for Mr. Cutlery. He takes first position and he cements his lead in this season's Gr.3 Championship with Chinelli taking second position and cementing his second position as well.
Absolutely. Ricky Armando coming in for P3 there. Vito in P4. This has been an epic race, an incredible advertisement of what the Racing Club is. Racing Club culture, super clean race, incredible pit strategies. That was unbelievable. Thank you, Chef, and thank you for joining us on these highlights of our Group 3 Tier A Deep Forest race, and we'll see you back here for some more highlights right here on the Racing Club.
Adios.
Driving so long and I feel the pressure. pressure. They're saying that we better be ready, my head is heavy. You know the weight of the world's on my shoulders, I'm breaking the levee. It's not a job, man, it's a hobby. Get me a coffee, cause you know it's a long night ahead of me. I'm at a loss, G, I'm trying to do right by the law, but I might